Some people aren't really sure how to smell perfumes properly. And then some people might think, is there even a proper way to smell perfumes? There is. While you can certainly just smell a fragrance normally, you won't get the whole experience if you don't train your nose for the process. And really, smelling fragrances is like smelling wine, like smelling cheese, I suppose, anything with a variety of notes. And most fragrances have three layers: the top notes, the middle notes, and the base notes. And often, even myself, I find that I'm not able to pick out every single note in a particular fragrance. And obviously, the notes that are stronger than others are going to be the first that most people will recognize. But being able to process and understand those other more subtle notes gives more complexity to the fragrance. So how do you do that? How do you smell better? The trick, really, to start with, is patience. If you rush through smelling anything, you're not going to get the nuances of whatever it is you're trying to smell. So basically, just take your time, and experiment with how the fragrance smells over time. So if you put on a fragrance at first, it's going to smell different compared to 3 hours later when it dries down into your skin. So kind of pick out what you can distinguish when you first put on a fragrance. You know, maybe there's citrus notes, maybe there's some floral or fruit notes. Then wait a few minutes, smell it again, see if you detect something different, maybe something new will arise. And then a few hours later, again, kind of marinate, kind of just think about how that fragrance is smelling. And it's really best to smell it directly from your skin rather than from the bottle, because it's naturally, the fragrance oils will come out more naturally once it's in contact with your skin. Other than patience, you also kind of just have to train your nose over time. It's definitely not something you can pick up in a single day. It's gonna take some work, it's gonna take some time to be able to start distinguishing even the most nuanced notes in a fragrance. And some notes are so weak that even a professional wouldn't be able to pick them out. And keep in mind that fragrances do smell different on everybody depending on how it reacts with your natural oils, your natural body chemistry. So there is that to consider. But in general, every fragrance will have its very characteristic notes. And the main notes that most people will be able to distinguish will be first the opening notes, because the opening notes are usually fresh and juicy and just very in your face. Then there will be the very long-lasting base notes. They might be woody, leathery, smoky, ambery, whatever, depending on the fragrance. And over time, just naturally smelling different fragrances, you'll get better at the whole art of smelling fragrances. And another thing that I would recommend is definitely experiment with a wide variety of different fragrances. While you can definitely train your nose and enhance your sense of smell by smelling just one type of perfume, that's only going to get you so far. You're eventually going to become too familiar with that particular scent, and it's not going to exercise your sense of smell. But if you have a bunch of samples or a bunch of just perfumes at your disposal, it will definitely make it easier to challenge yourself and determine what can you smell, what can't you smell. Are you improving? Are you able to pick out new scents that you weren't able to detect before? And over time, you'll be able to definitely see an improvement. You might be able to just naturally start smelling notes that a lot of people might not even notice. And it's just kind of a trial and error sort of thing. Just keep repeating the same thing over and over, and eventually your nose will get more in tune with what it's smelling. Of course, you won't develop the sense of smell of a bloodhound, but you will definitely get better. And that's especially important if you already don't have a great sense of smell. I was never one to have a great sense of smell, but after, you know, lots of trying, my sense of smell has definitely improved. So again, it's really just a practice thing. You could also train your nose with not just perfumes, but also with wine, with anything that has multiple fragrance notes. Even cigars is a good example. So, and even food, you know, your dinner, you can, besides, you know, if you have a steak in front of you, what else do you smell besides the steak? There might be some herbs, some sort of strange butter or something, but in general, over time as you train your nose, you'll be able to detect the more nuanced scents, and you'll be better at not only smelling perfumes, but just enjoying them overall, because as you kind of unearth the more delicate notes, you might find that you like a fragrance even more, or on the contrary, you might find that you actually dislike the fragrance based on these more subtle notes. So, but it's definitely going to enhance your fragrance experience, no matter what fragrance you're dealing with. So, definitely, if you want to make sure that you get the whole package when you get a fragrance, you know, you develop your sense of smell. It will definitely work out for you. Other than that, that's pretty much what I have to say about learning how to distinguish different fragrance notes and improving your sense of smell with fragrances. If you have any opinions about that, you can leave those down in the comment section below. If you liked the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.